the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gary, did you give off?
God, we thank you for the opportunity again to come together and do the business of the county. We ask you to guide our commissioners as they make decisions for the county. We ask you to watch over and protect our employees. And we ask you to bless this county with the blessings that you would pour out upon us. We pray in Jesus' name.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. We approve of last week's minutes as stated. All in favor? Aye. And the sheriff's report. End of month report is $2,662.50. And we got some ads and abates. Why do we do this?
That's his fees. He's.
I know, but why? It's in his budget.
No,
These are additional
this is separate, yeah.
a day?
He's
Just
required
messing with
to, he's required to report that because that's income to the department.
All right. Civil service.
What is
Make a
that?
motion that we assign, make a motion that you allow me to sign this end of month report for the sheriff's, $2,662.50.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What is that from, Sheriff?
Here, it states it on there.
As anything that we do where we derive income from, so it could be for VIN inspections or fingerprints, anything.
Service fees.
Service fees, yes.
Yeah, thank
And that goes right back into the general fund? Is that where it's going right now? Yeah. Okay, who gets some ads and debates? Ad and debate. Where is it? What? Yep, 21, 20, 20, 90, 193, 94, and 95. Make a motion that we approve these ads and abates.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. And then the bills, I move that we pay the bills in the amount of $338,136.72.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, we pay the bills in that amount, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jackie. Bill, why don't you just brief real quick what's going on, then we're going to go on a tour this morning over there.
Real quick, we're continuing on with masonry this week. Continue on with all the rough ends within the masonry wall, conduit, so forth. Do the underground work in the east half of the building. Plumber will be back Tuesday or Wednesday to continue that work. Marbury will continue with the foundation work. We're going to start prepping and getting ready for our second slab on grade pour, which would be the remainder of the 8-inch slab, and then we'll continue on into the 4-inch. But that's about it. No new subs really. We'll have some mechanical subs that'll be in and out. That'll have some rough ends going in masonry. But other than that, that's kind of the focus. Masonry is a big focus now. So.
Okay.
Does anybody have any trouble with material?
Not yet. I mean, yeah, it's longer lead items and so forth, but I mean, it hasn't caused any delays of yet. We're trying to stay ahead of everybody as far as getting stuff here on time. But right now, we're trucking along. So.
Good. So we're going to take a tour. You want us to meet you at the trailer?
Meet me at the trailer. I have hard hats for everybody.
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
It was about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
This is kind of, we talked about this individual that he wants to hire for noxious weeds a little bit last week. With what's going on this morning, there's 2 people coming from Anderson County, is that
Yes.
it? To train her on noxious weeds. They work for the noxious weed department for the county over there, is that right?
Yes.
So they're coming over to train her. That's why we want to get her hired so she can go ahead and get out there by 10 o'clock. They're coming over. And this is Heather Wells. She's here in
Mountain City, lived here
She's
about
here in
12
Mountain
years.
City. I don't know if you know her or not, Jim.
She has a strong background in biology and chemistry, and I think she'd be a quick study for the noxious weed, the chemical spray. No, she knows chemicals, she knows sprays, percentages, and all that. And I wanted to hire her at a 9A at 1557.49. That's a little bit, or quite a bit lower than what we normally handle noxious weeds directors. But I've explained to her, as you get your licenses, I'll come back in here and get her to the operation. We hire normally at 18 an hour.
Okay.
But as
She
she
okay
gets
with,
the license.
she understand that?
She understands it and agrees with it.
How long will it take her to get her license?
I have no idea. The reason I don't know is I don't know when the testing schedule is.
Okay.
It won't take long. It's just a matter of getting in. They're going to show her that today too, explain all the websites. I've got about 6 or 8 cost shares waiting, and Anderson County is going to come and help train, and so's Miami. And they're going to help us do the cost share, show us how to do it. So
Right.
back on
Awesome.
track Monday or today.
So as far as the pest control, since we haven't had anybody in there,
I was gonna bring the contract back to life and put it out for bid through the end of the year and then start again.
that's a process too. And I mean, is there any way that we can hire a step in for now? I mean,
I think you would get a complaint because there are 2 vendors that usually fight it out. If you give it to one without the other one having an opportunity, I think.
And they have to have a license, right, for
Yeah,
pests?
we could do it like
Sprayed, right.
for like 7 days instead of the normal. But I think or I could get bids. But I think if you jumped over one to get the other, we're gonna have problems.
So if you remember, Danny, and I don't know if Jim, if you remember or not, but we've had, in the past, we've always had a contract for them to come and spray for all the buildings. And so we let that go because we had someone qualified
Yes.
and we took it over and let the contract drop. And now you want to go back because we lost the noxious weed person. It'll take that individual
Till
after she gets her license, couple license, to get that license in addition
Yes.
to that.
and that's dependent on the testing schedule, which I have no idea.
And you need to advertise that
Yes.
contract thing.
Yep.
If you're going to put it out for bid.
Now,
Does
this
anybody-
one on the noxious weed, we did not advertise it. We're wanting to do it as an emergency hire because it's in the middle of weed season. And we went through the applicants that we had, anybody who had mentioned noxious weed or looked like they were qualified. We didn't get but one when we advertised for the noxious weed a couple of months ago. So
We good on it?
Yeah, I think so. On this pest thing, I think if you publish it this week and send the notice directly to the 2 guys, the 2 local companies, I think you could.
I know
quote-
that I've had some complaints here a few weeks ago before this even all started that they hadn't been over there in the courthouse, that they were, really wanting some pest control going on, and it hadn't happened, and then all this happened. So
it falls back to why we don't have somebody here now.
Right.
You could have the contract let by next week, so.
Okay. So if we can have the contract, anybody have any objections to that? I mean, that's the only way out of it. But let's go back to this individual. You okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
What about you?
you should have a degree.
Yes. She worked for chemical companies, but she came back because her family was ill and she moved back, left her job and came back here and then just never.
Her name's Heather Wells, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we hire Heather Wells as director of the noxious weed pending she gets all of her license on a probationary period at a pay scale of 9A, which is 1547.49 an hour. That's my motion. 57.49. 1557.49 an hour.
I'll second it.
Been moved and second. All in favor? Aye.
She's wanting to stay long term, huh?
Pardon?
She's wanting to stay long term.
That's my first.
All right.
Very first.
All right. Is yours going to be very long, Sheriff? Okay, come on. You got a long speech you're going to make? Okay. Everybody wants to go quick.
Everybody takes advantage of that. Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin Friend, Linn County Sheriff. Total prisoners is 25. We have 19 in-house. We have 6 farmed out. We had 219 911 calls this past week. That was down quite a bit from the week before, so 320 calls for service, and that was pretty much all that jumps out there to me this morning. So that's all I have, unless you have anything.
You guys got your communications all set up, everything working good on that?
Yeah, everything's working really well. We still have a few things to tie up, and when I say that, I mean like the cables and cords and stuff that are behind and kind of hidden at this point. But I think we'll probably see all of that pretty well finished up this week. I look back to IT to make sure that I can say that and be truthful about it. But no, the system's running really well, and I really appreciate our public works guys. I had Chris there a whole bunch out of IT, and to help set all that up and communicate with our engineers that brought the equipment for installation. And Rick Castle was a great help to that too, helped us build some things and put stuff together.
So is that going to make your guys' life easier over there?
Oh, yeah, it already has. I mean, now, operating the radio used to be a pretty big chore and took quite a bit of training time. There was a lot of labor involved in training. And now operating the radio, if you can operate a cell phone, you can achieve operation on this radio system. So I think it's a great advantage. There's a lot of other systems that follow that, but I believe probably it would take a week or more out of our training venture, with new people or people coming in to assist in communications. So very, very much an advantage to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Amar?
Good morning, happy Monday. I'm Galen Anderson with American Medical Response. So far for this month, in the past 7 days, we've done 5 transports, and for this total month, we've done 8 transports so far. Last week, we attended, along with the Sheriff's Office and other department leads, a planning meeting for the Pleasanton Bike Rally coming up this summer, so that's going in a great direction with interdepartment planning happening already at this point. I have the dates for the scheduled leaders meeting from Jessica that was sent out. So that's on our radar to have someone representing AMR there for any questions that city officials might have. And then the only other things were the devices that our technicians use for writing the patient care report and doing the documentation of all their care and whatnot have been replaced with a much better, ruggedized laptop called the Panasonic Toughbook that we picked up this week. So that's just an internal thing, but the old devices we'd used them for 3 years and they should have been replaced 2 years ago. They were never really designed for being dropped and stepped on and rough use, so they were not functioning very well. So our crews have a little bit of a pep in their step from that. So we're happy.
A couple of significant bills that Governor Kelly's, it's on her desk that affect the medical side for your ambulances and stuff. So I don't know if you are aware of those, but
yeah,
read them.
The KEMSA Association does a good job of sending.
Yeah, they do.
briefs on those.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody got anything?
Is the status on that truck, is it coming pretty soon? Is it?
Yeah. So it's between Ford and the AMR shop in Vegas that does all the final decals and radios and everything. So we should be a couple weeks out from it, but it's all the buttons have been pushed for it to go there. There was definitely a delay in getting it there, but it should be on track now. So I don't have a specific answer to that, but I'm confident it should be within a couple weeks. But
Jim? Anything? Thank you.
yep. Oh, there was one station issue out at station in Lacine that we followed the process to report to Joyce to get that handled. And it was basically several crews complaining of, like, when they're in the station, having headaches and feeling crummy, and then when they get out of the station, like, clears feeling great. And that happened a while ago, and I think it was determined to be like a gas leak on the hot water or something
God.
like that.
We gotta get them out of the garage.
So that was reported, so I'm sure it's being followed up on, but just wanted to let you know.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Doug? You just go in there with the lighter first?
No, we have a gas detector that literally will check for carbon monoxide. We do that, in homes for citizens of the county. If somebody calls.
I'm just kidding, Doug. I knew what you.
Thinks they have a gas leak, we'll go out and check it for them. And if our monitors pick something up, we can get them out of the house and have them call their gas company or propane company or whomever it might be. So, that's just a service that the fire department provides. Fire and Emergency Management, Doug Bartlett. We had 2 calls last week. Both were motor vehicle accidents, and we're at 180 year to date. So,
Awesome.
Give you that information. Got through the storm without any significant events that I am aware of. They're Saturday night into Sunday morning. So that worked out well for us, is what I could see, at least watching it on radar. So unless you have any questions for me, that's all I have for you this morning. I hadn't been here in a couple of weeks. Just want to stop and check in.
Thank you. You got anything?
No, I don't have
Thank
anything.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
Doug.
you.
Chris, are you gonna be fast? It's gonna be painful? Is it a bill?
Good morning, Chris Martin, Linn County IT Director. What I just handed Rick and for all of you to look at. So in budget season last year, we've got the tower out at K7. It's new. We knew that within 3 to 4 years, they recommend that we do a little bit of inspection on that tower as it's new. They got to do things with the guy wires and that kind of stuff. They had given me a price, which I budgeted for, but when he gave me a quote, it included some other things that are important. So I need to know how you, the commission, want me to proceed. And what I mean by that, when I budget for, I have a line item for tower maintenance. So IT pays for tower climbs, any kind of maintenance on that stuff. And so I budgeted $5,000 for that. And roughly the estimate was $3,000 last year, but it turns out that was just an inspection, which is fine if that's all we want to do. It's $1,500 for them to mobilize and $1,800 for the inspection. But there's also a thing that they recommend that we do, which is a plumb intention. And that's a $4,000 process. Now, both of these involve multiple tower climbs, and they inspect all the bolts on the tower and all the guy wires and everything. But within a new structure, they say in 3 to 4 years, the wind and those kinds of things will cause some stretching. So they recommend that we plumb intention that as well. We don't have to do this all right now. So my question to you, and there's another caveat on there you'll see at the bottom about a camera. My question to you is, do you want me to just not do it this year? Reapply the budget?
You at least got to give us a recommendation.
Honestly, it's just the dollars. I mean, I'm willing to wait till next year. It's not going to fall over. And I just talked to the gentleman this morning. We can,
So next year we'll have to do it then.
yeah.
Okay.
Mobilization's mobilization. If we only did the inspection and then we called them next year to do the plumb intention, they're going to charge us another $1,500.
$1,500.
I mean, it just seems to make sense to me, just have one mobilization.
Right.
Also included on that, Doug Bartlett had gotten a hold of me. There's a camera that's on the tower right now that we installed at 35 feet up that he uses for emergency management and storm watching. And he would like that moved to 150 feet to be able to get over the horizon better. So we've gone out and checked with multiple tower climbers, and the costs are quite high. All tower climbers, their insurance is outrageous. But if we have Hayden Tower, which is who built our tower and who would do this work, they gave us a price of basically $350 while they're already on the tower to move it.
Okay.
And then we've got another dish that could be just bumped in alignment into Parker, which they said would about $400. It's quite a bit cheaper than the $2,000 plus to have somebody else come and just do that.
I thought you said this is going to be fast.
I thought it was fast. If we do it now, we get the benefit of the lower cost for his camera move. But I didn't budget enough to cover the full 8,000 that's on this quote.
So you're saying if we wait till next year and come back, it's gonna be $1,500 more than what that is?
Yep.
The bill
Yep.
is.
Doug had something.
Plus, he wants his camera moved up, right?
Right now, when I look to the southwest, I cannot see the bottom of the storm, so if there's a tornado or something, I have no ability to see that from a camera, and we may or may not have spotters now or available, so it'd be very beneficial to me to get it up high enough that I can see the, underneath the storm. To the northwest, I can see fairly well, so if there is something, I'm probably gonna see it, but when I point to the southwest, where most of the storms come from, the trees, the terrain is in the way at 35 feet, so I can't see it. We think if we get it up to 150 feet, I will be able to see underneath all the storms and be able to see clouds, rotation, things like that.
Is any of this really time sensitive that can't wait till next year?
No. No, that's what I'm saying. It's literally a dollar question.
No. He's talking about, you're talking about the whole thing, right?
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm no. And in talking to Hayden, he says, well, if you want to wait till next year, that's fine. I mean,
you recommend waiting until next year?
I don't know. Doug wants the camera moved for this storm season, but if not,
Well,
you know,
Doug, were you in favor of paying part of it as far as?
That's what I was gonna say, I'll kick in $1,000 or $1,500 helps out to get it done, because I see the benefit to the camera move.
You good? What do you think? It's either this year or next year. You know what your money is this year and what you got budgeted. He's got
So how much will
5,000.
you pay then, Doug? What,
I'll kick in $1,000 to $1,500 to get the camera moved up. That's what it's gonna cost me based on.
You two work that out. If we can work out this, you okay doing it this year?
if we gotta do it, I mean,
Either way, it's gonna be painful. It's painful. I'll make a motion, then where's that sheet at? We hire Hayden Tower and Services to complete the job of moving the camera and doing the tension and all that other stuff for $8,050. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Moved and second, all in favor? Aye.
thank
There
you.
you go.
Oh, and one last, I don't know if you got my email, but just to latch on to what the sheriff said, the dispatch can now set off all the storm sirens in Linn County. Pleasanton, they're looking at changing one thing and then we'll be able to do theirs, but,
Let's test them about 12:30 tonight.
so, thanks, guys.
All right, hey, Bobby, you want to talk? You good? All right, I'm going to take a 15-minute recess, and we're going to go out to look at our new site where our new Justice Center is going to. So that's my motion, and all the commissioners and everybody else wants to go out and look as well.
I'll second.
Moved and second, all in favor? Aye. You go out, you got to have your hard hat, so go over to the trailer. Are we, time up? Okay. Well, does anybody want to say anything about the building that you went and looked at? Progress looks like it's happening and it's going well. You got anything you want to say?
Not much. I'm sorry I missed the last couple of meetings. I had some hearings, but things are still going along. I do want to request a 5-minute executive session for legal and 5 minutes for non-elected personnel. Whenever you have time.
Okay. So courts are still going? Are they going?
Courts are still going. We're still not in a position to have trials just yet, but
Any idea when that might happen?
no, not really. I think we're just kind of in the same situation we were.
Is that based on the state's decision?
It's based on at least two things. The state's decision, we're still, everything's still suspended. But also, even if they opened up, we don't have an appropriate plan to have court or to have trial just yet. We don't have a place that's big enough to do it. And
Are we backlogged quite a few or not?
no, we're actually getting, well, I mean, yeah, we are backlogged, but it's getting better than it was. I think that there's a handful of cases I can identify that will probably absolutely end up going to trial. But you've kind of broken up some of the other things and gotten things moving, so it's not too bad.
How are we doing on the backlog you inherited?
It's still there, but I the same answer, I guess. I feel pretty positive about the progress we've made, and it's getting a lot better. I think I told you at one point when I first came in, 65% of my docket was cases from 2018 and 19 and just years and years old, and anymore, that seems to be the rarity. The dockets, for the most part, are 2020 and 21 cases, and so I feel that's where I wanted to get to, and I'm not totally where I wanted to be, but I had I don't know if I said this or not, but my plan was by July to get there. I want to get 6 months to get it cleared. I think I'm going to make that deadline, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Good. Anybody got any questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll get you in here in a little bit. Well, we'll just do Jackie last. Leslie, you're here. You want to go? Put you on the spot early.
All right. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leslie Reckers. I'm at the Area Agency on Aging up in Ottawa. And Linn County is one of the counties that we serve for our aging services program and our nutrition program. Rick had asked me to come down and give you a little bit. I think Elizabeth and I were here in January, so 5 months later, some numbers. He had also talked to me about a van. I don't remember the year that Linn County purchased the last van for our meals program.
Was it 2017?
It was last year.
I thought we bought one last.
Last year? 18, 19?
Okay. You had asked me about numbers with Pleasanton specifically because we had talked about the change maybe in the
Right.
building. And I can tell you that Linn County, of the meals we serve, Linn County is about 14.2% of all the meals that we serve in our 6-county area. And to date, we have served 11,804 meals in Linn County, and to date would be October 1st. And that was going through March 31st. I don't have April numbers yet.
Okay.
That should be soon. So your meals are served in 2 different funding categories, C1 and C2. C1 is a congregate meal, which is served at one of your nutrition sites here in the county. And that's making about 18.2%, 26% of the meals served are congregate, and about 12.17% of your meals served in Linn County are home delivered, which surprised me. I thought your home delivery might be a little higher than your congregate. You currently have nutrition sites at Parker, Centerville, Pleasanton, Mound City, and Blue Mound. We are now serving still out of the contained trays like we did when we started COVID a year ago, March. But people are actually coming in and dining in. So they're They're eating in the buildings, they're just not eating off hot plated food yet, and we will be doing that, but we're transitioning our counties. You have the most complicated route in Linn County, so that's the last one on my list, because I'm still trying to figure out how we're gonna do it.
Leslie, I'm trying to put your percentages together. And I guess I missed something. You said 18%.
18% of the meals served for, about 18.
Our congregate.
Our congregate, about 12% of the meals that you, for all the home delivered and
For
congregate.
all counties.
Yes.
Okay, for all
Yes,
counties.
yes.
Okay, not just for us.
Do you
Yes.
know, like, specifically how many meals go to Pleasanton each?
Yes. This was as of March, so we're looking at October, November, December, January, February, March. And you had, 2,276 meals served in the month of March.
That's to the whole county.
That's to the whole county. 1,284 were through home delivery services, and 900, and I can't see here, 952, I think that says, was congregate. You don't have a congregate site in Linn or in Lacine. We have a church. We have various churches that take turns delivering the meals, and they do it for 1 month spans.
Where do they drop them off at that church now?
No, I'm not sure if it's at the church or if it's at the apartment buildings in Lacine.
Okay.
But there's about 13 to 15 meals every day.
So we're no longer, and that's my understanding, I just want to clear it up. We're no longer using the senior center to drop.
No, and haven't in a couple of years.
No, we
At
have.
Lacine.
That's not true.
I mean, for meal delivery, for us, for congregates.
For meal delivery, you were dropping them off for the churches to pick them up at the senior center because I used to open it.
Okay, Jody probably did that when we started in 2018.
Right.
Yeah. I thought you meant like for dine-in eating.
What Danny was wanting to know is, do you know how many meals are delivered to Pleasanton site?
Like on an average a day? That means they're 10, 15, 20, do you know?
Well, got a calculator. There's 23 serving days in the month of March, and you had 231 meals that were eaten at a site.
At the Pleasanton
At
site or at
Pleasanton.
any?
At Pleasanton.
231 divided by 23.
It'd be about 10.
10.
Okay, and Mound City was 257.
11 or 12. 25. Let's see. Times 23. That'd be 11.
So Mound City's not too much larger than Pleasanton, and then you had Blue Mound, Centerville, and Parker.
And I'm still confused about those percentages. I guess
Well, I mean, the 14.2% was for your whole six
Yeah.
county, right? And then the 18% of the congregate was for the whole
Yeah, all six
six
counties.
counties, and then 12% of them was home.
Yeah.
But if 18% are congregate and 12% are home, where's the other 70%? That's
That's for the six counties.
The other six
For
counties.
our county
Counties.
gets that much of
Six
it.
counties. We serve hot and frozen combinations.
I got you. So 18% of all
All of
the
them,
meals
yes.
are delivered to sites in Linn County.
Yes.
And 12% of all the meals are home delivered
delivered.
in Linn County.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're-
I got you.
Yeah.
We're basically taking 30% of your six county.
Yeah. Franklin and Miami are larger than Linn County, and then you guys are about.
And then Lacy's more confusing because the people there get their meals delivered regardless because we don't have congregate meals there. Because we were down to one person like we had in Prescott for a while and
And we
eliminated them.
still take to Prescott.
You still do it
Yeah, we do her about once a week.
once a week.
Yeah, we take her a hot meal and frozens to get her through.
So there's a little disconnect between the commission, I believe, and area on aging as far as, because sometimes we quit, like we've quit Prescott before and then we've started it back
When
out.
we pick somebody, yeah, we
Parker-
had a site there for a while.
Sure. And then we've done the same thing at Parker a couple times and people get excited about it and then they'll get 4 or 5 people and then it'll die back off again, I know. But I think one of our biggest things we'd like to see is numbers once a month or once a quarter at least for each commissioner to get. And if you could just
For
send it,
communities by county.
yeah, the numbers would really help us and help support
From each community.
yeah.
Okay.
And I will say Elizabeth did that on occasion. But I know how busy you guys are too, the number of people that's just there that work for you. But if we could just get a quarterly one at least, of the numbers.
How does the home delivery meals only work for Lacey?
So, the argument was that, congregate meals for years and years worked really well because there was large communities that ate, the older ate. But nowadays I feel, and it supports it, that older people are still working and they're not as interested in it as they would be years and years ago. And they've got other things going on. I will say with this, we cheat in Lacey because the Lacey Library supports great. It's all volunteer and it's an all donation deal. And they probably feed 50 to 80 people a week. And that's not even an exaggeration, every day for Monday through Friday. But they don't have to go off Leslie's menu. They don't have a dietitian.
Federal regs for.
Right. It's a free for all. You go in there and they do their little jazzercise or whatever it is. And then they all eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy. But that didn't kill the program because the program was already really bad there anyway. I'll say that.
Yeah, we had lower.
But it is good for people that still want meals delivered to them. And that's besides the Meals on Wheels. Some people just didn't want to go in and sit down and eat with someone. So I think it works good. You're down to 10 on some of these others. So later on, we might want to start thinking about.
So do we have under 100, probably under 100 people that we give meals to every?
I didn't bring a body count.
You got 2270 meals in 23 days. That's about a little less than 100 meals a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we out of Pleasanton, Nancy calls in meals for Tanglewood and Linn Valley.
Right.
So we also deliver up into those two areas. We deliver to Prescott out of the Pleasanton site, and then any of the rural folks. He's doing about 3,300 miles a month in Linn County.
It's insane compared to what it was. It was in Lacey, you used to the people that wouldn't come in for the congregate meals, some of them started wanting congregate meals, but they wanted them delivered still. And that's separate than Meals on Wheels program. Because Meals on Wheels you got to qualify for, right?
Yeah,
congregate. I know congregate you do too, but so we just started delivering them all to them instead of keeping a site open. Because in Lacey, if you're feeding one person, you hire that person every day for, is it a minimum 3 hours or something?
That's about what most sites are open.
And you're paying them, we'll just say $10 an hour. You're paying them $30-some an hour or $30-some a day, and you're feeding one person. It made very little sense.
Now, you say the 3,300, that's from the time they leave to go get the meal to come back?
Yes, out of the kitchen in Ottawa, round trip it back to Ottawa. He's doing about 3,300 miles a month.
Okay.
We had a situation where the last driver lived down here.
You've had a couple of drivers down here.
And the van then would come up in the morning but it wouldn't return in the afternoon. But it became an issue of when that guy didn't come to work.
What do you do?
Yeah. We had no van to get food. So this last time when we switched drivers, we changed it so the van's housed in Ottawa all the time. So at least we can get a sub.
So how do your other counties do it? I mean, is there any churches that open up all the time so they can congregate there? Or?
No, we have in Anderson County, we're at the Senior Center in Colony and Garnett. At Kincaid, the city clerk, we pay her a stipend, and we serve the home delivered meals to her, and people come and pick them up.
So that's 3 sites in Anderson?
That's 3 sites in Anderson.
In Miami, is it 2?
3.
3?
Osawatomie, Paola, Lewisburg.
That's
They're
right.
again all out of senior centers.
Yeah.
Osage, we're at Burlingame, Carbondale, and Osage City. Again, senior centers or community buildings. And let's see, Coffee County is Waverly and Lebo and Burlington. Waverly and Lebo are 3-day-a-week sites. You guys are all 5-day-a-week sites here. And then what's my other county? Franklin. And they're all community centers. Lane is 3 days a week, and then we do have one apartment building in Ottawa, Sunflower Plaza, that has its own congregate site, but everybody else is a community center or a senior center. We have a church in Linden We drop there every single day, the Methodist Church, and they deliver in the town of Linden for us, but we don't have a congregate site in that community. So, and then I talked to Jesse, Cox Motors, the other day, because you and I had talked about a van. We have a little over 90,000 miles on the van that we purchased, that you all purchased for us. So my thought was, when Rick said, you might want to come down and ask for one, was to take the sub van that has a lot of miles on it, make the Linn County van currently the sub van for all 6 counties, and then pull in the new van down here. Talked to Jesse the other day, and obviously you all know what's going on with cars and vehicles. And I had talked to Rick about how comfortable are you asking me for something that I don't know that I can get, for several months. And so, Jesse called me on Friday, and he said, I don't know that I can get you anything until January or February, based on the way things are going. His bids were for a 21 and a 22 Ford Connect. 27,000 and 29,000 were the bids. He said, I don't know how, where we'll be when we actually get one. And then I looked at the Dodge dealer in Ottawa, and his bid was 25. So we're in that area.
Okay.
And I could send you more specific.
So tell us who provides vans to you now. I think
Linn
each
County
county-
provides the Linn County van, and every other county we have purchased through the agency dollars or through a grant.
And our comparison, and this came out in the paper, you had a director before you even got there, that spilled the beans on how much we were contributing Linn County versus the other counties.
That's when she did the fair share.
And
Right.
we were paying 54,000,
Yeah.
and the average other county was paying under 30.
And we've got that all figured out.
We've got it all figured out. And so, what I would like for you to ask, are you talking about budgeting today at all?
No. Well, no, Sherry Hushka's been gone. We have 6 open budgets right now with the state.
Okay.
So we'll do an update when you guys come in on the 18th, because we have to do area plans, which is a plan that we have to do saying what we're going to do with the money that the state has given us. They're not working in their offices yet. They're still all at home. Between disaster funds and regular funds, we have 6 open budgets, 6 different pots of money that Sherry's trying to.
So that money could be available for some additional vans as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what I'd like to see us do is look at that and see if you need any more vans before you put that possible van in. And if we do decide to get a van, a backup van, and you buy it from whoever you buy it from, if you're going to buy it for Linn County specifically and use it as a sub, I'd ask you to look at our local dealership first.
Yes.
But when you come up with your money, if you've already got that many budgets open, and you've had a fairly good year with grants, wouldn't you say?
Grants and the disaster money allowed us to do
Yeah.
some things we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise.
It would have been impossible. We even built a garage out of it.
Well, that was a grant.
Yeah.
The disaster funds, we've done dentures, hearing aids, things like that we can't do for people in other.
Right.
Blue Mound right now has some kind of a situation with the utility stuff that went on in February.
Mm-hmm.
And we helped one lady. What are those bills? I think 600 and some odd dollars is what she came to us with. And apparently they talked at the hair salon, because Friday, I think I had 4 phone calls. Other people wanting to know if I would.
That word will get out quick.
Yes, so that's going to deplete one of the last disaster budgets that we have open, helping those folks.
Yeah. And then the purpose of course, coming down today was just to give us
recount.
just to give us a good briefing and ask if there's any questions, and let everybody that's listening know that it's not just the meals that you guys do. You provide us several different services to the public. And didn't you do a wheelchair ramp for someone in Lacine or
We
somewhere?
were looking at it, and lumber went up. The guy had another job, didn't get back to it. Now the lady says, I don't know why I need a new one. This one's just fine. So we're still back and forth with her.
Okay. So, and I guess while I got you here is, what's the steps if a person thinks they have a mother or a relative or a neighbor that needs might need assistance, is just call you guys?
Yes, if it's attendant care services, which is in-home services for bathing, housekeeping, anything like that, an assessment has to be done. If the person is going to qualify on state funding, they have to meet a score of 26, which is independent living scores, things you can do by yourself in your home and things that you cannot. There's an assessment for that. And if they don't qualify for state funds, they could go to federal funding. The difference between state and federal is that state has a copay based on your income, federal does not. And still, we do an assessment, determine eligibility, determine hours needed, and then hook them up with a provider that has bid for services, which we'll be going over the 18th when you come up for the next plan. And then we get them set up with a provider and case management and see what we can do for
I
them.
think the meals have been better because obviously in the last year and a half or so, I haven't had any complaints. I haven't received any complaints.
We're doing better. It's if any of you have ever worked in food service, it is a revolving door of employees that just don't stay. And right now it's really hard to even get anybody to apply,
Right.
show up for the interview, work longer than the first paycheck. I mean, we're not having any different problems than anybody else right now. I don't
Right.
think. But yeah, they've been better.
So I don't know if you remember this, Jim, but Mid-American Nutrition closed down. They were able to buy the facility or get the facility given to them, and they took it over, all the food and everything. And that's part of their funding
That
now.
was in October of 2018.
So they were an independent, Mid-American Nutrition was their own independent company that worked for several years, didn't they?
They were in business over 40 years.
40 years, and I don't know why they just didn't make it, and they ended up taking over the site and everything, and the kitchen, and what fans were there, and
Yeah, we had 12 or 13 employees
Right.
on September 30th and 52 on October 1st.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's quite a change for the agency. So
yeah. It's quite a change. Yeah.
Did you say we were the only company that provides an actual van to you? Everybody else does it in the budget? Is that what you said?
we have purchased, well, the vans that we received, I mean, we took over all the vans when we took over from Mid-America in 2018. And then I don't remember what Elizabeth's, how you all got to purchase a van.
I do. I remember it well. It was, we eliminated the two sites, Lacine and Prescott at the time, and we were looking at eliminating Parker. So you didn't need individuals there that we were hiring every day.
Okay.
And we were driving whatever the delivery route was. It's an insane delivery route.
He has a very complicated route.
Yeah, because he's driving to like 14, he's Pleasant, he's driving from Pleasant, and I mean, he's doing all of the county, and then he's going to Lacine. It used to be their last stop, and they would deliver to each household there, which was different than anybody else. And the vans that they had, one was in a flood,
Yeah.
and he drove through the water, and guess what? He didn't make it. And then, and the other van had like 300,000 or 400,000 miles on it, so they needed a van, and we gave them a van for that. I think it was totally justified, and as many miles as we were asking to put on it a day. So, and then they adjusted their funding from 54,000 down to whatever it was, 23, I think, last year. So,
And when we requested funds this year, we didn't raise anything.
yeah.
Same
Okay.
amount.
Any questions about anything?
Does it work pretty well where you deliver to the churches in the community? I mean,
If we could get more churches to do it, it has been great. We have one church here. I just talked to Nancy on Friday. It's been a church that's been consistently lax in having volunteers. We leave the meals, the volunteers come, they take them. One church has been pretty bad about that. They are actually dropped out of the rotation now. And she had some people that came in and volunteered on the days that they didn't show up. But every other church around here has been really good to do that for a little living.
Yeah, it's a good thing for, I think, I enjoy doing the Meals on Wheels up there in Lacine sometimes at our church. And I know the churches, but just to see the people and talk to them.
Great service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like you said, the congregate delivery is important for some people, but the older adults are not the same as they were 15, 20 years ago. Even my mom doesn't go all the time, and she's 86, and
Right.
that's where old people go, and she's 86. So, but she'll look at the menu and go based on the food.
Yeah.
I think when we get everybody back in eating hot plated food, that will make a huge difference because the last year's been very difficult for people.
Right. And that's why, yeah, I got you. Do you see any changes coming up? Is any sites possibly need to be closed, or we doing well everywhere else that we're at?
Parker's holding its own, Parker
Yeah.
and Centerville.
Yeah.
Parker's probably the one that has the least, that and Blue Mound.
And Centerville had a great program when Sherry ran it for years, and they are probably, up until 2019, they were probably averaging 25
Yeah,
or so.
she did agree. And I think as they open back up and people can bring entertainment in
Right.
again, and cards and bingo and all that other good stuff that people like, I think it'll make a difference. But
Any additional monies, grants coming, grant money or anything coming to the
waiting to
organization?
hear on one from the Humphreys Foundation.
Okay.
That's a $25,000 grant. I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks we'll hear on that. Other than that, looking at Kansas Health Foundation, but haven't applied yet. It's not due up. So
Okay, you can, when you do your budget, if you can't, on the, when you come back for your budget review and you get scheduled with David on that, what monies you want. If you don't need the vehicle, that's fine. If you're gonna get it through other grants, if so, you can put it in there. Whether we give it to you or not, I don't know, but yeah.
okay.
Any questions?
Still working on the Pleasanton deal, so I'll stay.
That's a rent issue, if I remember. Is that right?
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a rent issue.
It happened right in the middle of a power transition, and so her and I we've talked, and I think we'll get through it. So it's gonna take a little longer than.
We went ahead and got the restaurant
You're fine.
license and did the inspections, so we're good on all that.
Okay.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming down.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
giving me the time.
You know Jackie back there, right?
Yes.
Sorry. You're up. Yeah. You got anything, Gary, today? You need time?
I'll need some, executive session time,
How long?
well, probably 15 or 20 minutes. Our attorney that represents us in an ongoing litigation matter will be here to talk.
In person?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's supposed to be here at 10:30.
okay. Heather Wells, right?
How are you?
Good. Well, and nobody knows you. And you're from Mountain City, right?
I've been here almost 12 years.
Oh, wow.
I worked in Lacey.
You don't know this guy here? He used to work at Casey's.
I worked in Lacey Summit for 10, almost 11 years, so I didn't have much time to run around.
All right. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy the job. You know, we go through noxious weed like it's a seasonal thing.
Right here, okay?
All right.
I'll hold you to
All right.
that.
Good.
I'll hold you to it.
Okay.
Good.
This is the other part of the meeting, the department.
What's your name? Carl, how are you? And where are you from? You're in Pleasanton? Okay, good, good. You know him?
I don't. I might have seen you around, but.
All right. Well, welcome. Enjoy yourselves.
South Shop.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. All right.
Thank you, guys.
I didn't have much else. The cell construction we found out need to get KDHE on site. They want to review our plans, so we're going to try to do that this week sometime. I do have a training class this week on blade operations. It's either 2 or 3 days, depending on what we want to do, and I'm going to talk to the instructor this afternoon. But I wanted to extend an invitation to you guys to stop in and listen to it and watch and talk to the instructor. I already told them, asked them. They said, oh, yeah, just come on in. It's going to be here on Tuesday, and then they're going to be out in the field on Wednesday. And I think what I'd like to do the third day. I mean, we're paying for it. Why not? And then do a tour and pick locations and say, what have you learned? What would you do differently here? And quiz the people. But we ended up putting all the people in it all the blade operators except one who's, he's pretty good at what he does. And I didn't put him in it. Dust control cutoff date.
Hey, on that real quick, Jackie, when you guys are doing your training, there's some very difficult road sites sometimes we've talked about over the years, the hills and I don't know, it was.
I want to do special trips too
Okay.
on
Okay.
Thursday.
What
Pick
day is
out
that?
these.
Tuesday at what time?
It's going to start at 7 and go to 4. And anytime you want to stop in here, like say tomorrow's the all day on books and study, and then they go to field, actual running blades and grade and doing.
Oh, they're going to use the new road?
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't talked to him yet. I'll set all that up. He's going to be in about 4 o'clock, and we're going to set down what's going to happen. Those are the ones I selected, made it mandatory. So we're gonna go pretty hard on that. They're in the other room in there. They're in the other. Thank you. That's the weed director for Miami County.
All right.
Help us. Dust control cutoff date was Friday, so we're working all that up. What they normally do is they'll give us a list of where the sites are, and we'll go put extra work in there because we don't want to blade away what they put down. So we'll get them prepped over the next 3 weeks, and I don't have a date for when they're coming. That's pretty much what we got going.
Okay. You don't need?
Nope.
Okay. So we're going to go into executive session for a while, it looks like. Gary, yours is with an attorney at 10:30, right?
Right. I have some other things too, but
I need 15 minutes for personnel myself today. And Hardy needs he needs 5 minutes legal, 5 minutes for personnel. Does anybody else need anything?
I would suggest you might want to go in for 10 minutes legal and 5 minutes personnel now to include Burton, and then come back because that guy's supposed to be here about 10:30.
Okay.
But that's up to you.
That's my motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
It's a nightmare for me.
What are you doing?
Good for you.
We want to do this in executive session, I presume, yes?
Not much. You know what, it's been a while since.
About due. Mr. Chairman, this is Kevin Case. He is our attorney, provided by K-Camp, in a, ongoing legal matter we have. And so we'd like a executive session for legal issues to consult with an attorney-client privilege. How long do you think you'll need, Kevin?
Wouldn't need probably 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'll make it quick.
Well, I have other legal issues we could get into if we're blessed and he gets done early.
All right. Well, we're laughing because 30 minutes is a long time for us. But anyway, I'll make a motion. We go into a legal session, executive session for 30 minutes with our legal counsel. That's my motion. All in favor? Aye. Careful and wide awake. Do you need, Cindy, do you need some executive time for the appraiser? Okay. Seems like it's executive session day. And Gary, how much time do you need now?
Probably at least 15 minutes.
Same here. 30, that's 30 minutes for, is that personnel? What's yours on?
Mine are on legal.
So you need 15 minutes for legal. I need 15 minutes for personnel, and you need 5 minutes for personnel. That's my motion to go into executive session for that amount of time.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Not going anywhere else. Oh, we're all gonna be here for a while. We gotta sign these appeals too.
You got a what?
No action yet. There will be. There's some documentation that Gary's got to write up.
I like our new chairs. They're comfortable.
I do. Kind of miss that chair though. Sticking it over there on your side.
Something to smile about at least once a day.
Anybody got anything else? Anybody need any more executive session time? My goodness.
Did you get that email from Tisha?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me. Tisha gave me an update on the health department, so let me pass that on.
Gary, do you have a chance to look at this?
What am I looking at?
I emailed this to you. Maybe that's-
Maybe she just texted.
Email to me. Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay.
Okay, so the cases stand on the COVID at 838, total cases, 20 active, 0 in the hospital, and the death toll remains at 12. Total tested this week, last week was 101. Okay. We can't leave anyway until we get this done. Gary, I don't think we need you. We're just gonna do this and be done. So we're done.
Good. I don't see it in my inbox. You might send it again if you would. I haven't yet learned how to use Outlook. I'm new on that, and
Start signing.
there's all kinds of secret places that your emails could go to.
Disappears.
Yeah.
Hey, Barb. If you go to the old Napa building, you'll see some stone laying out there by the door. If you want to take a look at it. The old Napa building. Are you getting old?
Yes.
The old Napa building where I have all my stuff now? If you go, yeah, the old Napa building. You know what I'm talking about?
Cameras.
Mouthful of nuts. What?
The Napa building, this was,
Yes.
if you go there, there's a stone outside the door. Take a look at it.
Huh?
Did you order all this stuff?
No, I don't like cold weather. If it was 100 every day, I'd be happy. Yeah. Part 2. Y'all done?
I hope.
All right, I'll make a motion, we adjourn. Moved and second, all in favor? Aye. Mike, have been up to?